Looks like both racers are ready. Okay, let me switch over to his sound and we should be starting. Thank you for the wait. Okay. Alright, this will be kind of tricky. Give me a second here. Alright. So we have start down. I already sent them to start down, so we have to do it a little different because they are in two different chat channels. So a little difficult to count them both down. Okay. I get the chat up and we should be set. So both the runners that we're watching right now are extremely good at the category. So honestly, I don't know who could possibly win on this one. I've seen quite a few. Welcome, Nobi. Both runners are really competent. They're really good runners. So we'll see who can come out with the win. Vander did mess up a little bit there on the staircase to take 1 damage, so kind of slowed him down a little bit. About 3 second loss there. Oh, my timer didn't start. My stuff never starts on time. My timer didn't start. What happened was I had my so both the runners are using different ways for me to start the race. So I have to type the countdown for both of them and then start my timer and then turn the sound on. So there's a lot of happening at one time, so I apologize. So my timer's be a little bit behind. Thank you, though, Jackets. It's good to have you here. Okay, let's see what kind of time we got here. They're actually about almost exactly the same right now, time-wise, so the race actually not too far off. Another issue with what I'm doing is when I type the countdown 3, 2, 1, that's actually my hotkey to turn my Sundays on. little difficult there.
Already won.
Okay, so it looks like Hopsital is just a little bit behind. So it looks like right now the runners are really close. So we'll see how they do in the next stage. So the first stage is really simple. There's nothing too crazy to it. Your pathing mechanics for the level is what really matters. Vander has some really good pathing here. He does accidentally run into an enemy. That stops his dashing. Slows down just a little bit. Sorry, 1 sec. Okay. Alright, we want to see as many deflects as possible from this boss. The deflects that the one we're really hoping for is when he shoots a giant rocket or when he dives at us. There are some smaller rockets he can shoot, which are some pretty nice things. Ooh, we have Hopsital getting a really good deflect there. So that's the deflect we're hoping to see. That actually doesn't put him too far behind. So it looks like, let's see here. Looks like he's about 10 seconds behind at the moment, so that's not too bad. With some good pathing and some decent RNG, he could easily come back. Oh, Vander getting a purple, non-deflectable missile. We'll see if Hopsital receives the same bad RNG, or if he gets some good RNG, which will kind of help him out. Yep, and he does get the good RNG. which gives him some a little extra time that he lost a little bit earlier. Vander not getting a single purple deflectable. Vander really just cutting that close with his pathing. Extremely well done. And Hopsital not too far behind. So you can see when Vander was doing his pathing there, he actually, instead of deflecting a lot of the bullets that he could have, he actually just decided to just walk right through.
Says that I'm focusing too much on the chat. Who is this guy? And
the co-commentary. So Hopsital going for that strat. I haven't really seen that before too much, so it's kind of nice to see a couple of different things coming out, where he switches to his katana. Luckily Hopsital had to pause real quick to turn off his mic. So unfortunately, this game is by real time, not in-game time, so that does kind of count against him. But we'll see how he does. He's not too far behind. Alright, so the next stage here, it's just going to be a lot of just random like bullet sponges popping up. There's not much to do in the first part of the stage until we actually get to the boss, which you can see Vander is now starting. So the boss here, we want them to give you purple deflects. You do not want any oranges because you cannot deflect those. It is random, it's pure RNG on what they give you. Vander is taking a little bit of a beating here. So some decent RNG for Vander. Not a ton of deflects, but enough to kind of get some extra damage. Hopsital only getting a couple. It does get another one here. Hopefully he can get a bunch. Oh, he does get two, but unfortunately because how the boss maneuvered, they actually dodged all the damage from it, so it didn't help too much. We're going through another little part here where this is already scripted, so the boss the enemies just spawn in the exact same spot every time, so it's kind of nice. Vander fighting his ninja stage part 1. So ninja being really challenging, but once you know his moveset, it's not at all that terrible. We'll see how he does here. Vander doing really well. Does not dip out of the way a little bit fast enough there. That's okay. Damage doesn't really matter unless you're going to die against Rex Rocket or the next part of the stage, which a lot of these players don't have that issue, especially being this far in the tournament. Another little scripted fight over here on Vander's side. Both runners completely just destroying the Afro Samurai apparently on Hopsital's side there. Hello, welcome back. Alright. So Vander getting some really bad RNG there. Double orange rockets. We'll see if Hopsital gets any luck here. So Hopsital's about a boss behind at the moment. There is still a chance for him to come back. He can either get some decent RNG. Vander can make a mistake. And then he does get double purple deflex, which is extremely lucky because as we just saw, Vander got 2 non-deflectables, and he got another 2 deflectables. So yeah, a lot of really good luck there for Hopsital. Should help him out. They can make a comeback here. Then I'm going to do some platforming here. Hopefully it doesn't take any damage, so that way he can kind of keep that lead. Ooh, just make a little small mistake there. Oh, 2-second time loss. Not huge. See how Hopsital does during this platforming section. Lose about half a second there having to dodge that bullet, but nothing too bad. Vander is going to be trying to use his katana here to actually destroy a lot of these bullet sponges. So we call them pills. The pills here, it just takes one shot to destroy them. But the issue with them is that when you spend the time trying to destroy them, you're not able to get any damage on the boss. But using the katana, since it does like an AoE like effect where it does damage on like the entire area that it hits, they are able to hit both. This is the actual only auto-scroller during this game, and taking damage here actually slows down the side-scrolling speed back to its original state, which is extremely slow. So taking any damage here can lead anywhere between about 5 to 10 second loss. See how the runners do here. Look at they're both doing pretty well. Vander's at the end, so he shouldn't have to worry about it anymore. Hopsital definitely doesn't want to be too risky here, else he might lose out, and he gets through it as well. Vander's platforming is actually pretty tight, pretty precise, so you can see like he hasn't taken any damage at all. He's taking a little bit, but not to the point where it would cost him anything. Ooh, Hopsital does take a quick hit there, but luckily when he got damage there, he'll still moving with his momentum, so he didn't lose any time. Hello, catnip. Thanks you for the raid. We always appreciate that. So anyone who's coming in who has not seen the game before, can I give you a small explanation of the game? So Bleed 2 is a platformer boss rush kind of game. So there's some platforming in between the bosses, then there's only a little bit of a boss rush. And you'll notice Rin has some nice purple hair there, which allows her to deflect purple bullets. That's not like her power itself, but quick explanation. And the orange bullets we cannot deflect, so we want to dodge all of the orange bullets while deflecting all of the purple bullets. We have 2 of our like just extremely good runners here. They really know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a while, and they both like have their own like little text and stuff on how they beat the stages. We're currently in one of our close to the final stages. It's a boss rush where they'll be fighting like 4 to 5 bosses back to back, depending if you want to count the worms as a single boss or 2 bosses. Sorry about the chicken. I apologize. Sometimes I get a little riley. A little chicken to spice up the stream. Alright, so Hopsital is on white and Vander's on Bun Bun. There you go. Thank you for that little chicken emote. Much needed. So Hopsital was about 1 boss behind. He did have about a 9-second delay due to having to turn off his microphone. So we'll probably look into that to see if we can count that against him or not. We'll look into it a little bit later to see where he actually ends the run. Alright, so we're going to watch Vander here, because this part is really challenging. We want to take no damage here. Oh, it does take 1 hit there. Almost takes another hit. It takes another hit there. This is one of those parts of the stages where you can take a bunch of random hits, which slows you down. So we'll see how Hopsital does during that stage. Alright, so let's watch Hopsital, see if he can get through this without taking any damage. Just dodges two oranges there. Oh, it does take 1 damage, but he does it as he's falling down, which doesn't lose too much time. Vander going to be starting up his segment slider here. They call it fingers or fingies. Basically, what it does, it shoots out random bits and pieces. You want to get some good RNG so you can still hit the center core. which Vander gets a really good hit there, so he actually should be able to knock it out right here. Awesome. We'll see if Hopsital gets some decent RNG as well. Quick deflect, always good. Oh, weirdly weird, difficult to get segment there, but because of the segment itself, he does get a lot of damage. But he only gets one cycle through it though. He might not be able to kill it here, so he has to do one more cycle, which is quite unfortunate. He's opting just to use his katana just to do some damage while it's invincible, and then just go for the deflex for the final kill. What makes it so like he doesn't have to go through another full cycle, just do part of that cycle. So very smart on his part. A little bit more platforming. Vander going to be starting up his Nemesis Core Part 1. So this boss is not super challenging once you get it down. You want to get the deflex on the purples if possible by standing next to it, so you'll be able to get the slash on the boss for the damage on top of all the deflex all at one time. Hopsital getting down to single deflect there, that's very unfortunate. Alright, Nemesis Core Part 2 for Vander starting up. Gets an orange and then a purple deflect, so not great, not a huge time loss, but unable to do any damage until the second one appears. So the biggest thing for this boss is you definitely do not want to have the issue where you are fighting the boss and then you miss one of the deflects or one of the Qs that allows you to be able to damage it. If you don't get that, then you lose a significant amount of time having to do another full cycle, which is about 10 to 15 seconds. Vander already knocking out his part 2. Hopsital going for a double bomb here. So a little bit extra damage allows him to get more areas to attack him in. One thing that's kind of nice about this boss is that it really tries its best to let you hit it after you've blown up part of its shield. Ooh, Hopsital there getting another really nice knockdown. Yes, and Hopsital is down to very, very low health. He's also pretty far behind right now just because a couple things he was doing there. Hopefully he can still make a comeback. Vander now starting up his anti-battalion. So this part right here, we're going to watch Hopsital, because if he makes 2 mistakes here, he will die and have to restart this entire dash area. Doing very good right there until that spot, which now he has to be very careful. If he actually shoots an orange, it'll be non-deflectable. Right there, very close, very clutch. He almost got here with basically just being dead, which means he has to restart the entire section, go back to the beginning, and redo it. Vander does get Pac-Man, the best one you can get, but does not get a deflect at the end. So here, Vander is about a full, he is a full boss ahead because Hopsital decided to go for the death. Ooh, Hopsital does get the deflect there. Very well done. So we want to see Pac-Man and to be purple, which he got. Using a little bit of wall jumping there, something most of the community absolutely hates. But for that part of the segment where you don't want to be at the ground, you can just wall kick off the side of the map, just keep your momentum up without using any dashes. Hopsital getting some really good RNG here actually. So bullets here, he should be able to get a kill on the boss by getting all the deflects, which he does, so he's all set. He'll move on to the Valentine fight. We want to be careful though, because the Valentine fight, while it's not super challenging once you kind of get it down, there's a lot of RNG based into it. So we'll be watching both the runners to kind of see what kind of RNG they get. We want the fewest amount of bullet sponges, like how Vander had there. So during a lot of that phase, he lost a lot of damage just because he wasn't able to get to the boss. That he is opting to do some slashes to clear out that area a little bit faster. You'll also notice the runners taking some damage where they normally wouldn't, or jumping off the stage. They're doing that to lower their health a little bit, so that way they can get a death skip a little bit later in the run. So you can see there on Hopsital's screen, he did lose a little bit of damage there, just opting to go for the slashes, which were in a very unoptimal area. But you'll see what they try to do, they try to get through to make so they have to hit the fewest amount of bullet sponges that would do the most damage on the boss. Vander a little bit over a full health bar ahead at the moment. So he's been doing really well at keeping his lead. So we'll see if he makes a mistake or if Hopsital gets some pretty good RNG to kind of make a comeback from that. Vander doing extremely well over here as well, just getting a lot of really good deflex as well, which is nice. Vander setting up for his death skip. He should be set. Waits just long enough to make sure he doesn't go too early. Oh, goes for an early taunt, hoping to land it. Almost landed it. That would have been just detrimental for Hopsital. Not being able to. That probably would have made it so he would actually lose about another 10 seconds. We'll see if Vander can time these perfectly. Looks like he's got it so far. Gotta get one more. And he does. Hopsital does get a knockback there, which is extremely helpful. A lot of free damage that he definitely needs to get. And he does knock out Valentine part 3. Same for his death skip now. And his death skip is successful. Vander will be moving on to the final stage. While, oh, he also went for it and did not get it. So now he must wait until he gets his taunt here. So, during this part, he has to make sure he does not miss any of these taunts. Missing a taunt here could be very, very bad. And he got it. So he's all set. They'll be both moving on to the final stage. Vander starting up the easiest boss in the game, Mantis Core. And he gets the purple deflect, which is exactly what you want. Opting for just moving just right. So that's one of the strats that a lot of people haven't been using lately, where Mantis can be hurt unless you're shooting directly in the face, and he'll slash downwards with his claw. But if you just stay really close to the claw and slowly move forward towards his head, you're able to get that damage in while he's moving in, rather than just opting to go the other route, which you go left, right. So we'll see if Hopsital does that here, if he goes left, right, or if he decides to go for the, the more damage route, which just stay close to the claw and then going to the right. So he goes left, right. And you can see when he goes left, he loses a little bit of damage there because he can't attack the head. Vander gives him extremely good damage out on Whale Core. So Hopsital now starting up his Whale Core. Vander just knocking him out. Oh, I lied. Sorry. Hopsital now meeting Whale Core. Return of Whale Core. Now he's gonna be starting it. It's still about a boss behind. Vander doing pretty well here. He has some really good tactics. You can kind of tell, like, he doesn't opt to stop doing a lot of damage. He'll just dodge out of random things. He does get some bad RNG there. That can be orange or purple. Definitely we want the purple ones. It gives a lot of extra damage to the boss. Does knock it out. Hopsital not too far behind. He's gonna knock out his Whale Core, but we still have two more bosses after this. One's the Crawling Core, and the final is the Rival itself. We'll see if Vander maybe makes a mistake. He's still pretty full, so he's been a really consistent runner so far. It's going to be unlikely that he'll make a mistake, but it could happen. And he is opting to stay in the center, which a lot of people have agreed that would be the best and most optimal location to damage the boss. So. Oh, and he gets a deflect. Oh, Hopsital gets a purple rock on it, so that's very helpful for him. But unfortunately, he's still a full boss behind. So unless Vander makes some serious mistakes on the Rival, it looks like Vander will be taking this run. We'll see what Hopsital does. He did opt not to do the center strat before. We'll see. Oh, he is going for the center. We'll see how comfortable he is. I think he just started doing this a couple, like probably yesterday or starting today. So we'll see how comfortable he is. He has not slept, so we will see if maybe he was practicing this all night long. We'll see. Looks like he's having no issues jumping back and forth and letting on the correct blocks. And he does get a good knockback here. Unfortunately, oh, and he does not land it. That's a pretty big time loss for him, just because, I mean, he really needs to get any kind of time saves he possibly can, and he's just not getting them. Vander does knock out his rival. So 24-34 it looks like for Vander. So Vander is not using an auto splitter, so it didn't automatically split for him. Hopsital has to fight out his rival, and then we'll be starting the second race. Okay. Turn that loading screen off. So I will have to chat to both of them. Let's go ahead and do this. Alright, they should be starting in just a second here. Fantastic. Looks like they're about Hopsital started about 1 second ahead, so that's not too bad. Okay, they will now be starting up this stage. So when we're watching this, Hopsital will be about 1 second ahead. So technically, if I have the exact same spot, Hopsital will be about 1 second behind. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, by the way. We will be having another race. The winner of this race will actually be playing against Newbie, who is actually in the chat yelling at people. So be sure to tune in for that. And then tomorrow will be our grand finals, which will not be on the channel. So if you are here waiting, we will have this hosting the speedrunning channel that will have it on. We're just putting our finals on for onto a bigger channel. Maybe we can attract some more players, and we'll be having the best two runners in our community racing. So whoever wins out of this will be playing against Newbie, and then the winner of that match will be playing against Eviona, and then they will definitely be considered our best two players, and we'll see who wins. It'll be an exciting match. Alright, so both runners, like I wasn't talking too much about the race itself. Oops, I accidentally opened up something else. My bad. Hold on. Okay. So both runners are now approaching their first boss. Vander's a little bit ahead, probably by about 2-3 seconds, but since he's also technically behind, it means he's actually there about 5 seconds ahead. And Vander does get a nice deflect there. So Vander backs up to get that deflect, allowing him to get more damage as the boss travels towards him, and then goes for the deflect itself. Hopsital does get a deflect as well. Vander knocking his boss out a little bit ahead, so probably about 4-second difference here. Okay, let's watch the platforming here. Vander does make a small mistake. Not a huge time loss, but definitely helps Hopsital a little bit. We're about 4 seconds apart right now, so extremely close still. We will see how they do. They both get some pretty decent deflects. We really want right there. That's a rocket. That should be a kill right there for Hopsital. Putting him just a little bit ahead. Vander, unfortunately, getting a very bad situation there. That RNG doesn't help. He not only was unable to deflect, the boss after he does that attack flies off the screen because you can't hurt him. Goes to the background, shoots rockets, which you can't hurt him in. So he had to kill it before that ended. So I did lose him a couple seconds. So Hopsital in the lead, probably about 2 or 3 seconds, and he opens up with a really nice deflectable rocket. Vander not so lucky. So we'll see here if Vander can get some good RNG. He needs to get not only just the rocket from the center that launches out, but it also has to be purple, and it's an orange rocket, so he does not get any good RNG there. Hopsital already knocking out his boss moving forward. So definitely some bad RNG for Vander right now. I love watching Vander do that section. He just does not care and just walks right through all the bullets. Alright, we'll see if we get any purple cards here. That's probably the most challenging one to get through. The issue with fighting, going against the purple cards is that if you attack them too early, they won't deflect, and then they'll lose the deflect of their deflect coating. And then if you wait too late, they won't deflect, or they may deflect in a weird direction. And if they deflect in a weird direction, they can still technically fall on Whale Core, the vehicle we're riding on, which makes it so you have to redo that phase. We're just doing really well here. No one's made a mistake. Like I said, the biggest one we're going to see is if they get a purple card, which looks like Hopsital does not even have to worry about. Vander going to go into his last phase right now. We'll see what he gets. He does get a purple card. Let's see how he does. Oh, just barely gets it too. Very close. You can see that he slowed on time, just really worried about that purple card phase. It's one of those phases you really don't want to make a mistake on. It's pretty rough. Alright, there's not much to talk about at the beginning part of this stage here. The biggest thing we're looking for is when the boss spawns, they want to clear as many bullet sponges as possible, get them off the screen, and then after that's done, they want to focus more on the boss. They want to make sure that they don't go around hitting just random enemies, because that doesn't help them at all trying to get the boss kill. So right here, we got a nice deflect, 2 nice deflects, some bullet sponges just diving around. So Vander hasn't started his boss yet, but Hopsital already has his down over halfway. That's really good for Hopsital. And Hopsital already finished his boss. Hopsital choosing to focus a little bit more, close out his chat, which is why you don't see him talking. Thank you for the yeehaw, we always appreciate that. And kill right there for Vander. Another little scripted segment here, nothing too crazy. What is everyone's favorite boss? This is Hopsital at his finest, where he decides, you know what, I'm not gonna be in chat after every boss. He's going for that W, boys. 3 Valentine C's at the same time. Thank you, Aviona. That is probably everyone's favorite boss. Wow. So Vander was shooting the ninja there during that phase, which gives deflex, which also prevents him from moving to the next state. So not sure if that was going to be a time loss or not, since he was able to still get a lot of damage on the boss during that phase. But it's kind of, not something I've seen before, where they purposely like try to prevent the boss from moving. Got some stray purple bullets, nothing too crazy though. You don't want a stray orange bullet or going to float to the right, because then they'll be in your path as you're trying to dive away. And Hopsital double deflex there. You know, it's always upsetting when when you're watching these kind of runs and you see someone get, you know, double deflex and someone getting double oranges. Vander does get some deflex there, not the ones we're looking for, but still some damage. And he does get 2 of them and lands both. That's fantastic. So I mean, Valorant's got some really good RNG there. Hopsital probably about 10-15 seconds ahead. That is very true. Yeah, we are looking probably at the first game 3 if I recall. You can definitely tell that these runners are extremely close, and like whenever one takes the lead, it's usually because either someone made a mistake or they have some bad RNG. And so far we haven't had it where it's like one person in the lead, then the other person takes the lead, then the other person goes there. Usually when they're holding this lead, you can tell that these runners are doing extremely well to make sure that they do not lose that lead. Hopsital knocking out his boss. Vander not too far behind though, since he already has his boss almost half health. So in the previous run, Vander was a full health bar ahead for boss, but now he's in this race, Hopsital is only about half a boss behind. Yes, and I would love to touch on that. Hopsital, you'll notice he has 2 inputs on his screen. He uses both controller and keyboard while playing. He'll switch between them for certain stages. Both runners look like they're going to get through this without taking any damage. Alright, we'll watch Vander's pathing here. See if he takes any damage. Make sure he doesn't get hit by anything that slows him down too much. And no issues at all. Hopsital starting up his Robo Guppy. Vander not too far behind at all. Ooh, and not a good deflector for Hopsital. See if Vander gets it. Vander does get a good deflect there. And you see he moves all the way back, making sure the boss has to roll all the way towards him before that deflect even occurs. That way he gets a ton of extra damage on the boss. Alright, we now got Robo Gibby and Stew. So these little worms aren't too tricky, but we're hoping for certain RNG. So that one right there, Hopsital does not opt to go for the extra damage by deflecting. Vander does during that stage, so it gives him a little bit extra damage. But what we really want to see is when they come to the ground one at a time, and you get a pure purple one shooting at you. So he should get it, because this right here will be, yep, right here, and then you'll see this. He'll stay there. Oh, he doesn't go for it. Doesn't matter. Gets the kill right away. Normally what you would do for that stage is when you get that RNG, if it's an orange one starting, you'll end with the purple, and the purple one will shoot a bunch of bullets at you. And what you do while shooting bullets at you, you stand directly in front of it and you shoot it, and you deflect. and that makes it you deflect all the bullets. You get the slash damage and the deflect damage, which is just massive damage. Your DPS just significantly increases, getting the kill much faster. Vander on his Robo White, Hopsital fighting Robo Bun Bun. Vander not going to be starting up his Robo Bunny fight here. Hopsital does miss his deflect there, unfortunately. It's little things like that that's going to just cause a little bit extra time. Vander doing really well with this fight, not missing any really big damage attacks there, and gets his deflect. Vander should be able to kill here with his deflect, and he does. So Hopsital ahead probably by about 15 seconds off that. Let's see how he does here. Flying through the stage. Ooh, does get hit, takes a little bit of damage, and hits a wall kick. A little bit extra loss. Vander going through the stage really well. Let's see how if he gets it. Doing very well. See RNG. Bad RNG, but does not get stuck there. So a little bit less time loss than Hops. Hops starting with a good deflect. Unfortunately, he gets a completely covered core, making so he doesn't get a lot of damage on that segment. Vander getting a really nice segment there, able to get tons of damage in on his first. And his next one, tons of extra damage as well. Should get deflect here. Ooh, then unfortunately gets a really bad segment. RNG definitely is a pretty big factor in the run, but they can also do stuff like this to slow down time. Just going for that kill, you don't want to have to do an extra cycle if you don't have to. Runs are still very close. One of them could make a mistake, which could easily turn the run in the other person's favor. So we got to be careful, because if you take too much damage, especially during these next couple spots, it could make it very detrimental dying. You'll lose a ton of time. So we'll see if what they opt to do. You see there, Hopsital staying right next to the boss when he shoots out all the pods. And what that does, it makes it so the boss basically hits itself with all those pod damage. So it's a much faster kill for him. Vander getting a lot of good deflects though. Yeah, Vander's about 10-15 seconds behind still. Not too bad though, because that's something that can easily change. Some decent RNG could easily make that swing into his favor. Vander getting some seriously good damage then there. Only about half behind. And that pod is directly in the center, very nicely done. Opens up a huge range for damage there. So if he gets a good one here, oh, that should be nice right there, because then that damage happens immediately, opens up the defenses immediately. Let's say both rounds are good enough on health. They don't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, Hopsital does get hit by two things there. A third, oh, he's down to 1 health. Now he really can't make a mistake. Making a mistake now, he'll have to redo this entire section, which will be detrimental. Oh, he just gets through it. He'll be starting his anti-battalion, which is a sliver of health, which is 1 health. Vander also has struggling out pretty badly here. Both runners definitely not having a good time there. Hopsital just taking a quick death. So the runners actually probably about 10, well, actually probably about 7 seconds apart right now. Vander would have been a lot closer, but he did take a lot of time during that stage. So RNG could play a huge factor here. Who gets the better transforms? Vander unfortunately does miss that. Because he missed that and took damage, he's down to 1 health. Taking any damage now will reset this boss, making so the Hopsital will have a huge lead. Saw is exactly what you want to see. That, or you want to see a Pac-Man. Pac-Man's being the best, and he goes from a Saw directly into a Pac-Man. If he can angle this properly, perfect. He does. Gets tons of damage there. And doesn't gonna make a range, he should be fine. He cannot make a mistake here, slowing down time, does not want to make a mistake. Does lose his time. And he does get the kill. Fantastic. That was very close. He held down the time slow a little bit too long, which means so he ran out. And if you run out, you can't use your time slow at all. And if you're not paying enough attention, you won't be able to notice that it happens, and you just immediately go back to normal time. So he was very close. If he would have got hit, he would have immediately died and have to do the entire boss over when I had a sliver of health. And that would have been at least a 2-minute time loss. Probably about a minute and a half, but pretty close. So both runners going into the final stages here. So runners are both still extremely close. That last level was definitely where we would see a pretty big shift if there was going to be one. But we still have to think about this. They can still make a mistake on the death skip. They can still make a mistake on the trash lock. There's still a lot of different things here that can happen where if they make a mistake, it can easily turn to the other runner's favor. There is definitely some RNG that could come into play. Vander getting 3 deflects, fantastic for him. Alright, we'll see how it goes. Hopsital's just trying to get some decent RNG. Does get portals, so you lose a lot of time for damage here, but as long as he gets a purple deflect like that at the end, it kind of makes up for it because you can get a lot of damage in. But if you do not get a purple deflect at the end, it's a pretty big time loss then. See how Vander's RNG goes. So he does also get a portal. Now if he gets an orange deflect at the end, it's going to be pretty upsetting. And it is an orange, so no real good time save there at all for him. Big time loss. Hopsital down to 1 health. Make sure that he can do this death skip. Should be able to get it here. Does get it, so he'll be starting his next one. Vander not setting it for his skip yet. I think he might have forgotten, and he's going for it now. So he does lose some time there. Forgot to do it a little bit early. Definitely got some time loss. Hopsital missing one of his taunts there. That gives time for Vander to catch up, actually. Do not want to miss that lock. That's a pretty big setback there. We'll see though, because if and Hopsital back in chat. So the runner is probably about 10 seconds apart here. Let me check. We got 29 KO and a 35 KO. So we're talking about 6 seconds apart now. It's a pretty big difference. So this race is not over. So there can be some mistakes here. I want to make sure everyone does the absolute best strats they can to make sure they don't lose it. Hopsital starting with a hop and then a taunt. Not what you want to do when you're trying to make up some time. And Hopsital also does the right, left strat, where Vander only opts for the right strat, which is a little bit faster. Saves just a small amount of damage, and Vander does get a deflect on Mantis here. So yeah, there is a chance that, Hopsital getting an orange deflect. That is not what he wants to see. Now runs are extremely close. We're talking probably about 2 seconds apart. Probably one of the closest races we've had. Vander needs to get this win to take it home. Hopsital needs to win this one, and then another race to be able to take the win. Alright, we'll see who gets what kind of deflects. Hopsital not getting any real big deflects there. Vander getting 2. Hopsital not finding any of these rockets that can get some free damage in for him. Vander also still at full health. Hopsital opting to take some damage, not really worrying too much about his health, just wants to make sure he can do his best to get the damage in. So does get the kill, probably about 5, no, almost 10 seconds ahead. He got a 34 when the boss locked in. Vander getting a lock in at 39, so we're talking about 5 seconds apart now. 5 seconds apart in Hopsital's favor. Unfortunately, gets a yellow rocket there. Not helpful at all for Vander. And Hopsital does get a purple rocket, but he misses the deflect. And Vander gets another orange rocket. RNG not in Vander's favor right now at all. While Hopsital did get the RNG, he didn't miss it, so that does not help him at all. So we're down to this. If someone makes a mistake here, it's going to be significant. Alright. We'll see how they do here. No one's close to dying, so we don't have to worry about a death loss where you lose just a ton of time. Hopsital does get some bad RNG here. We really don't want this part, the boss to make so that they're running at you. You don't get a lot of time, and then following up by a full blast, which also doesn't help you. Vander doing his best, just trying to get as much damage as he can, not worrying about health at all, just trying to get as much damage as possible, knowing that he has to get these quick. And he does get a dive, which is the best thing you can possibly get right now. And he does get it. That's a huge RNG boost for him. So that means he does put him ahead by probably about 3-4 seconds. We have not seen any behind the bot strat yet. It's something that I know Eviona has been trying to kind of like work out. I'm not sure if we've actually seen it though live in a race. Probably during the grand finals we will be seeing it. Alright, so we have a ping pong, and then we have Vander getting a deflect there. A full knockback. Super close. He does miss ping pong though. Missing ping pong, while it's not a huge time loss, and Hopsital getting an orange kick, and then Vander getting another purple kick. That is some really, really bad RNG. Vander getting a katana though, so we'll see how this works out. Another orange kick for Vander. Rocket coming down. We'll see if Hopsital gets some good damage here. He does, but still extremely close. Vander could make a mistake here. He could get a katana. Does not. Knocks him out, just barely scratching to take that win. Time for Vander, 25:05. And then we'll end the time here. 25:16 for Hopsital. Really close. Extremely close race. Literally about a second apart. And Hopsital PB'd. Very nice Hopsital. Alright, we're going to go to a quick chat. Unfortunately, Vander is unable to talk, but we will just be listening from, yeah, Vander cannot talk, so we'll be hearing just from Hopsital for this. Hello, Hopsital.
Oh.
How do you feel about that race?
Ooh.
I assume that's good.
Oh, that was so close.
Yeah.
Did Vander just get like a 25:09? Is that what I'm seeing?
It's like 25:06, but yes. Because he's not using an auto split.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we were like 10 seconds apart.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You guys
If I
win.
had made like 3 less errors during that run, I could have won that, which is not important because I still PB'd.
Here's the thing. You guys went into Whale Core Part 2 almost the exact same time. Like, literally, you guys were like a second apart. And then somehow, I don't know what happened, you just clutched it and you came out with almost 5 seconds ahead. And then Vander on what I call Fallen Core, while he was going down, he actually got 2 orange rockets, and you got a purple rocket, but you did miss that deflect. And so you guys went into Crawling Core about the exact same time. It was so close. But then you got a orange dash on your rival, and he got 2 purple dashes on his rival. So
That makes sense.
yeah, he lost RNG
probably got a
early.
worse. I probably got a worse crawling core.
Oh, by far. He had an orange dash pretty early.
Can you tell me if he like? Can you tell me if Vander does point blank tennis?
He tried it. He only did it one time. He was doing point blank tennis, and then he did miss it, so didn't get anything out of it.
Okay, was that point blank tennis or just tennis in general?
He was right next to him basically, but he did miss
Was it like underneath him, or did he like fly up directly to the boss and just do instant tennis?
He was up right next to him, parallel. Same
yeah.
height.
So that's how you're supposed to do tennis, and I don't do that. Not because I haven't thought about it, but because no. Never.
Quick thing from Ultifen here. He would love to have seeded bosses. I agree. I would love it for us to be able to just randomize a seed and we all had the same RNG.
Oh yeah, that would be great. We could do it like endless mode speed runs at some point of this game.
Do they have the same RNG though? Of they always do the dash.
Yeah, well that's true.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have
like
a seeded boss.
Dash RNG seed.
And it should be able to be done because how I believe they have it set up right now for replays is that it has a seeded everything, and that's how they use it. So, any comments for the race you would like to add?
Finally, a worthy opponent.
Well, now that Hopsital is going to be out of the race, it will now be Vander against Newbie, and that will be happening in about an hour, if I'm correct. About 15 minutes.
I can't believe Vander just nay-nayed on me.
I wouldn't even go that far. It was really close.
The first time he definitely nay-nayed on me. He got third place on the leaderboard. Can somebody tell him he got third place on the leaderboard?
I think he's listening right now, so...
Yeah, that was a nay-nay. That was a third-degree nay-nay right there.
So
that was worse than when the United States nay-nayed on the British.
Oh, good.
Happy July.
So, we will be having a race against Vander and Newbie in about 50 minutes, and that will be like semifinals or whatever. And then the winner of that will be playing against Eviona for the grand finals tomorrow. So make sure everyone tunes into that. It's going to be really exciting. So we'll have the top 2 racers in Bleed getting that. I'm not sure if Jackets has announced what the winner gets. Don't worry, it's nothing of value, so I apologize.
I'm putting $500,000 and 95 cents on Vander, and if he loses, I'm destitute.
Oh, well, I'll bet $2 against the opponent then, I guess.
Cool, I'll have $2, so I'll be fine.
You'll be rich.
I'll just have to invest $1 of it.
All right, I think that's all we have. I appreciate everyone showing up. Oops, how is this working? I don't remember. Do you remember who is going to be doing the race in 50 minutes? Who's commenting? I forgot.
I don't know, but it's not new. It's not you.
It's not me. I unfortunately have plans in the real world, and that's my fault. I apologize. All right. Well, thank you, Hopsital, for tuning in. Thank you for the end of game chat. We always appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for talking to me. I'm so alone.
That's good. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to leave you forever. Have fun, buddy.
Also, I've been up for 24 hours. Did I mention that I've been awake for 24 hours?
Yeah, you should take a nap.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. Sounds good. Have fun, Hopsital.
Good night.
Good night, I guess.